Well, good afternoon, Ellis County. Long time no see. We do have one storm that is demanding my attention and has decided to overachieve here south of Midlothian, right in the Griffith area. This one, we're looking at a pretty good hail core here. Just look at that. And if we put on a different view, we're going to look at the hydrometer classification. And this is definitely qualifying. You see that HA there, definitely qualifying that as hail. Heavy rain there in that area too. But we're definitely looking at very possibly some hail in that Griffith area. So that's right at crossing 157, just south of 875. Moving towards the Mountain Peak area, probably going to move south of Mountain Peak. If we're being honest, it's probably going to move south of there. I'm waiting for word from the National Weather Service too, to see what their thinking is on that particular storm. And this one decided to cycle up, of course, very shortly after the last stream ended. So it is moving right towards the Mountain Peak area. And you can see, again, this continued hail core here. This is 875. Here you have Singleton Road, 663 there. And I don't have any reports of hail sizes in that area. We have a storm spotter that says they're going to be headed that direction to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at there. But okay, so we're looking at in southern Midlothian, hearing pea-sized hail, maybe a little bit bigger. Now that is not that is not where this hail core is. So this is going to be north of there. The largest hail is going to be in the Mountain Peak area. Hearing pretty good sized hail in the Mountain Peak area. If you can get a size for me, that would be awesome. Pea-sized hail off Singleton. And so you may be actually ahead of all of this. So I think just south of Mountain Peak here. And this is Singleton Road. And again, 875. So south of 875 along Singleton, hearing possibly lime-sized hail in the Singleton area. So that's probably where this kind of hail core is right now. That's what we're looking at. This is primarily impacting the Midlothian area, specifically in the Mountain Peak area south of Midlothian. Hearing cherry-sized hail in the Griffith area. So definitely some decent-sized hail south of Midlothian. Oh. Okay, so I'm hearing that the report of lime-sized hail might have meant to be dime size, which sounds a little more correct. So really looking at kind of pocket change size hail here. And where National Weather Service says we're probably looking at kind of borderline hail size for a severe thunderstorm warning. Not really sure if they're going to continue to leave that one alone or if they're going to give that one a warning. We'll be watching that here in the next few moments. But that's really the only severe weather we're looking at in terms of our area. You see some hail from Forreston over to Bardwell here, just rain there. And some heavier rain in the Grandview area, headed over to Maypearl there. And then obviously south, really east of Mountain Peak, the storm's moving at a pretty good clip. Possibly, I would say, 50 miles an hour or so, possibly on that, 50 to 60 miles per hour. A pretty good sized hail. I have a picture from someone's hand, and it's hard to judge from that because hands are different sizes. But looks like decent hail east of Mountain Peak there. Going to be heading towards the Sardis area. Really between Sardis and Midlothian. It's kind of moving off to the northeast a little bit. So I would say going to be, again, heading towards the Sardis area. Heading towards, really kind of towards Waxahachie High School there. Possibly towards Midway Airport, probably a little south of Midway Airport, I think. And that's kind of the track that we're looking at. So if you are in... I know that we're all concerned about school letting out, that kind of thing. So it looks like this could be headed towards Waxahachie High School, possibly just south of there. Really looking at Black Champ Road here. Black Champ Road, and then we have, that's Rex Odom. So Rex Odom Road heading towards the airport. I think that and Black Champ Road there. I think that's going to be a really large area of concern. So again, this is kind of what I'm expecting as far as the track, and that may be a little bit generous in terms of the northern size, but hearing nickel size, so dime size, nickel size. Again, not seeing a warning on this, but let's kind of zoom out so you can see where we're talking about. Really good hail core here, really good updraft, just south of Midlothian, just moved through Mountain Peak a few moments ago. No severe thunderstorm warning for this, but I do expect a warning probably to come for northern Ellis County pretty soon. We zoom out, if you were on the earlier stream, this is the cold front, and you can see a pretty strong delineation there between all of the moisture to the east and just nothing to the west. So once this storm moves through, you're pretty much done. Venus, you're clearing out now. Midlothian, you'll be clearing out very soon. Okay, we're getting a report of 1-inch hail out of Midlothian, southern Midlothian. And so I do expect a warning probably to come for this storm very soon. Because 1-inch hail, that's pretty much the one of the qualifying factors, the criteria there. And that hail core is continuing right on towards Sardis. So just to kind of orient you here, here's Skinner Road. This is 875. Here's 287. Midway Airport is right up here. This is the Sardis area. Waxahachie High School. Right over, right where Business 287 and the bypass come together. So this is your hail core now. So that's going to continue to move off to the east, northeast. So I do think that it's going to be moving towards Sardis, towards Midway Regional Airport. If you're in the airport right now, I would be taking cover. You could have some 1-inch sized hail, possibly a little larger than that. But we're going to continue to keep an eye on this because we're not really looking at a wind threat at this point. We can take a look at that and see if there's any strong winds coming out of this. And I'm sure there's some gusty winds just with the force of the hail. Maybe a little bit of kind of some gusty winds right where the hail's falling. But yeah, definitely mostly a hail threat right now from this activity that we're seeing. Not really seeing any kind of rotation in Ellis County right now. Fortunately, we don't have to really worry about that. But this hail core is definitely impressive, and I'm just waiting to see if the National Weather Service is going to do anything warning-wise. So, we'll continue to keep an eye on this. So quarter-size hail, seeing that in the comments as well. Just a moment here. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm hoping we get a severe thunderstorm warning out of this very soon, because I do. I mean, it does seem like we're getting to that kind of criteria in that area. Okay, so no word. No word yet on any kind of warning going on. We have this tornado watch until 6:15. Really, the tornado watch is invalid once you're behind these storms. But no tornado threat at this moment. But we're just watching this particular storm that appears to have had a very strong updrafts. That when you have that hail created, what it's doing is it's carrying those raindrops further up into the storm, and those storms are really really cold. They're literally freezing at the upper levels. So you'll have it go up and drop and go up and drop, and when you see if you can cut a hailstone in half, you see the little rings. That's the number of times it was carried up into the storm, right? And the larger the hail you have, the stronger the updrafts. And it does look like as this approaches Midway Airport here, does look like that hail core is sloping off a little bit. So we may have just had the core of that storm do its thing and fall through, and now looks like it could be losing some of its intensity. So, that is great news as it approaches 287. I do think we'll still see at least some small hail move across 287 there. So if you're on 287 and hail starts falling, take your time, drive slowly, don't get under any overpasses or anything of that sort. Don't clog any roadways or anything, but you do want to make sure that you're watching and being careful. If you have to pull over, then hey, that's good. That's beneficial. That's probably the safest thing to do. But that's going to continue to move over to Midway Regional Airport here, and we are still getting southwest winds there at the airport as we look at the readings from the weather station there. Now, as we continue to watch this move over, it's going to, as it crosses 287, goes over the airport, it's going to continue towards 664 here, and then eventually on towards 35. So this could move up towards the Sterrett area along 35 and then go along 77 as well. But that's really the strongest storm that we have at the moment. It doesn't look like this is going to get a warning. And I can tell you a lot of people are talking about roofers. Synergy Roofing is the best in the area, so I think that's going to be the best that we can rely on in Ellis County. But you see the rest of this line, not very intense. This is really the superstar right now. This is the overachiever that is doing most of the work right now. Other than that, things are pretty docile. Hearing someone asking about rotation around Navarro Mills, I mean, we can look at that, but I really don't think that's... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything concerning me about rotation around Navarro Mills. Possibly some gusty winds there, but not any kind of rotation. And yeah, hearing Settlers Glen getting some heavy rain and hail. So yeah, that's going to be that neighborhood right in there, and at least I believe so. Yeah, so that's Settlers Glen, and yeah, you're going to be looking at some hail there. Looks like we could be looking at a new hail core right there on 35. So right there, just north of Laughlin Drive, really just south of really, well, I guess west of my location. So hearing Itasca, doesn't look like anything severe in the Itasca area. So yeah, I think this is going to be our kind of area of focus. So this is 35. You see 77 here. Here's Butcher Road. The studio right in here looks like this is going to slide north of me. But right at Butcher Road and 35 and 77, I think is going to be the main area of concern here. The rest of the county, we do have some heavy rain moving into the Maypearl area, possibly down towards Italy in the next few moments. I know Itasca is getting some heavy rain, possibly some small hail out there, but this is really going to be it as far as the severe weather. And it's borderline severe. We don't have a severe thunderstorm warning attached to this at this point, but this is really going to be the most intense part of any of this. This is going to continue on, like I said, towards Butcher Road, crossing 35 now, crossing 77 very shortly. And as it does, you're going to see some of these neighborhoods here. Shackelford Elementary there. There's the Northside RV Resort. Probably going to pass south of Life School there. And so this is going to continue on kind of in this direction. So these little neighborhoods here, the Northside RV Resort, you want to be indoors. You probably, hopefully already are with the rain falling. Shackelford Elementary, I don't believe they release for about another hour or so. So I don't think there's going to be any parents waiting. If there are parents waiting, you know, sit tight, and if they'll allow you in a shelter or inside the school to stay safe, it wouldn't be a bad idea. This is not catastrophic hail by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that it does bear respecting, certainly at this point. So that's what we're watching. This is northern Waxahachie, just south of Sterrett. And here's Butcher Road. And if we kind of do a broader view here of everything going on, south of Corsicana, there are, you know, some storms that are severe warned. Really, the biggest piece of this right now is from about Red Oak on down towards northern Waxahachie and over. These storms are not severe, really not very intense, not a whole lot going on there. This storm is really the biggest story right now. We have this hail core passing south of Butcher Road, on the southern side of Butcher Road there, hitting some of these neighborhoods with some very heavy rain, possibly some small hail as well, really across the street from Shackelford Elementary. If it doesn't move towards the school, it'll be close to there, really right across the street. And this is going to continue on, and this is north of the North Grove area, so this is north of my location. Going to continue on to the east, northeast. So really continuing on in this direction, eventually moving towards the Rocket area. And mostly hail here. Not really seeing much of a wind threat. Obviously very heavy rain. But mostly just a hail threat out of this storm. No severe thunderstorm warnings attached to it. You know, but we will get more, and we will get an update on the radar here in the next couple of minutes or so. But fortunately, there is mostly just a hail threat at this time. Unfortunately, we have a hail threat at this time. So, you know, nobody likes dents on the car, dents on the roof, that kind of thing. Not really what you really want to see. But this is what we're talking about. You see this purple? That's going to continue on to the east-northeast. Okay, just across from Shackelford, small hail there. That does make sense if we zoom in a little bit. Again, there's Shackelford Elementary School. There's the Northside RV Resort. Atwoods is going to be right over here. Of course, the Whataburger and the Sonic there. Just kind of giving you some landmarks as far as what to watch for. And it's really open space between, once you get across Butcher Road, a lot of open space, a few neighborhoods here as you get towards Rocket. So as this continues on towards the Rocket area, kind of along 813 by the time it gets across Butcher Road, and then eventually moving towards the Trumbull area. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye on this storm as it continues on to the east. Again, east-northeast. And not looking at a tornado threat from this one. Really not looking at much in terms of damaging winds. There are some gusty winds associated with it, but nothing like what we saw in Ennis. We zoom in a little bit more again. Pecan Hill, Rocket, really moving more towards the Rocket area. Okay, yeah, we do now have, it has crossed Butcher Road. It's going to be heading right along 813 here. So, or possibly crossing 813 right towards Lake Clopton here. Again, right towards the Rocket area. So Rocket Cafe, that area, that's kind of where we're watching most of the potential hail threat here. And looks like there is a tornado warning going on south of Corsicana, definitely outside of our coverage area here. That's really the only tornado threat going on right now, definitely outside of our area. We're just looking at hail issues at this time. But we do have this neighborhood here. If we can get a street name on this, that's Twin Lakes Drive, Lakeway Drive. This little neighborhood here probably getting some hail now. And then as we continue on, again, just headed towards the Rocket area, Rocket Cafe, everywhere in and around there. Here you have the 983 and 813 split. That will be an area impacted as well, and then it's going to continue on from there. So if you're in these areas, you want to make sure, I mean, it's obviously it's a good idea to be indoors anyway during one of these storms. You want to make sure that you're indoors, especially in some kind of indoor shelter. It doesn't have to be, you know, a tornado shelter or anything, but you want to make sure you're indoors somewhere secure as the storm passes over, because hail, it's not always fatal, but it usually hurts. It's not comfortable. So you want to be keeping an eye on that as it moves through. And we're seeing some reports of folks that are in that neighborhood too. Again, you know, maybe some dents on your car, maybe some dents on your roof. Not looking at anything catastrophic here. I'm waiting for another radar update. They were coming in pretty quickly. We should be seeing that very soon. And I imagine by the time it updates, we'll see this more in the Rocket area. It's moving pretty quickly. So right now, just assuming that, you know, time has passed, which it has, this is probably more in the Rocket area right now. Hearing some reports possibly of some flash flooding from this one too. We've already had plenty of rain, so these quick downpours could cause some additional flooding problems for our area as well. That would not surprise me one bit. The good news is that this whole line is pushing through and there's nothing behind it. So as it continues to progress eastward, we're wrapping things up. Midlothian, you're pretty much done for the day. Woo. Okay, well, I thought that was thunder. That's my cat playing with a toy. The fun of pets, right? I was wondering what that sound was, but he's just having a good old time back there. So we see these little storms here. Obviously, that was our focus, the one headed towards Ferris right now. And then another heavy storm heading towards Waxahachie. And then down from there, this is the cold front. This is what we're going to be watching, where we're going to be, everything's going to be behind there. Moving towards the Ennis area. So once this is behind you, or really ahead of, once you're behind it, I should say, you're done for the night. And you're clear to go pick up the kiddos and that kind of thing. But I'm hoping this will be out of the way by the time most of the kiddos are out of school. And I think it should be. The good news is that it does look like that hail core is kind of weakening there. We're losing some of that intensity. It's not looking as well defined. So let's just kind of do a broad view here. It looks like some heavy rain moving just south of 5 Points. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot in the 5 Points area. West of Waxahachie, right there along 66 and 1446 there. Getting some pretty heavy rain. Maybe a few claps of thunder there. Going to be moving right into Waxahachie. And then Mountain View there headed towards Italy. Some heavy rain possibly there, but not really a severe weather threat from either of these three little cells here. This storm here was really the only one where we were concerned, and it does look like that one is cycling down a little bit. That's going to be heading towards Trumbull and Ferris there. Looks like that will slide north of Palmer. But we're definitely not as concerned as we were a short time ago out of all of this activity. We put this into motion here. You'll see where these storms are going, pretty much east-northeast. Again, this is continuing on towards Waxahachie. That's going to move into the Forreston area, and then this little shower will move into the Italy area. But let's do just a broad view. And as I said, there's that tornado warning down southeast of Corsicana. But as you see, there is nothing behind all of this activity. We are done after that passes through. So yeah, no more storms behind this activity. Once it moves out, we're done. We're done for the day, and things will clear out. The good news is, if you do have to pick up the kiddos, you may have to just kind of wait through a little bit of rain. They may delay things a little bit, just have you wait in line a little longer. But these storms are moving at a pretty good clip now. They're moving pretty quickly. The cold front, I think, has picked up some pace, and it's moving pretty fast. So this is moving through the Ferris area right now. Moving into the Ferris area right now. Hitting Rocket now. Rocket's getting some pretty heavy rain. And then I think that's getting ready to move out. Waxahachie getting a last bit of rain now. And then from Lumpkins down to Italy to Milford, got some rain moving your way. But nothing too terribly intense. So this is the last bit of it. The good news is that everything severe is moving south of Corsicana right now. Hillsborough, you're about to clear out. Whitney, you've cleared out there. Itasca's clearing out, and Blum as well. So Hubbard, you got a little bit more. Blooming Grove and Dawson getting some rain. Corsicana getting some rain as well. But the best news is that there's really not anything to your west to be concerned about. So these three cells are kind of the last bit of what we have. And you have one storm heading towards 45 right now. The rest are crossing 35. And we're going to be done for the day. So, things are getting progressively better for our area, and it does look like we'll hit that 3 to 4 o'clock deadline that I had previously set for when this activity should be out of our way. So, I don't see anything severe out of this. We're still probably looking at some small hail out of this northern storm that's heading towards Ferris right now. It does not look as intense as it did a few minutes ago. I mean, my gosh, we were looking at a pretty deep hail core falling from that storm some time ago, but, we're definitely not seeing that now. And there could be some concerns with hail. Anywhere that's getting rain, I think that we could very well be looking at any of those places that are getting these heavier downpours, like the Ferris area, Trumbull Ferris area right now. I do think that we could be decently concerned about some flooding issues because we've had such crazy downpours as it was earlier today, and then any additional rain is just going to be piling on top of that. So unfortunately for the pups, for the animals, it's going to be really muddy and gross, and just taking them outside may not be the funnest thing. Just have that one reliably dirty towel ready to clean their little paws off before they come inside and track everywhere and that kind of thing. But other than that, we have largely dodged a bullet today. We really didn't have much intensity out of all this. We had some hail in Griffith and Mountain Peak area. That was pretty impressive. So you'll probably have roofers knocking on your door and all that kind of stuff the next couple of days. If you need a roofer, get in touch with Synergy Roofing. I'll definitely give you their information if you need that. I know there are some folks that are probably waiting for some hail damage to get a new roof. Sometimes it works out that way. So if you want somebody to come do that inspection for you, let you know if you're set to go for a new roof, definitely got someone for you. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be crossing 35 now. So heavy downpours on the highway, not enough to cause concern for, again, any kind of tornadoes or anything like that. But this storm heading towards the Ferris area, I think, is going to be the most intense out of any of this activity. And it looks like the core of that storm is kind of becoming a lot less organized than it was. Heavy rain heading towards Waxahachie. Heavy rain on 35 right now. But it does look like as this moves towards the Ennis area, I'm not really expecting it to intensify too terribly much. If it does, we will jump back on with more live coverage. But for now, I think we can let things kind of go. And I'm going to see if I can maybe get a bite to eat. Because, man, it's been a long afternoon. A long day and a long afternoon. But stay tuned for more updates. I'll continue to post some updates as we get through the rest of this stormy day that's coming to an end finally. And hey, how nice that it's coming to an end during the afternoon, right? And we're not starting late at night and that kind of thing. So stay tuned for more updates throughout the rest of the day. And after that, be prepared for temperatures in the low to mid 90s